I apologize. Hopefully, yeah, somebody was trying to call me. And I will retitle this in a bit, take 2. So I'm going to start over again. I'll just wait and see if people pop over and we'll just say hi. I have one that was trying to call me. Let's see here. We'll just wait. Let me finish out on this bean. Oh boy. I think it's still catching up to the last one. Take 2. Take 2. Let's see. Is it going to come back over? Oh, somebody's popping in. Okay, good. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Whoever's here, hello, hello. Say hi. Let me know you came in. I did reach out to the person that was trying to call, and I'll call them back in a bit. So hello, hello. Oh. Anyhow, you know how life goes. Just one of those things, but I am shelling peas out. Beans, not peas. Shelling beans out. And so somebody called and it messed up the chat. So I'm here. Hey, hey. Oh boy. I think they're all over. Let's see here. Hopefully they're not in the other live because I did take it down. Let me see here. I wonder if I could do this. Oh, let's see here. Hopefully. Hey, hey. Whoever's here, hey, hey. Oh boy. So anyhow, well, I am shelling out these beans. And what I was saying in the other live before it got stuck. Yes, yes. Sandy, you're here. Thank you for being here. I was frozen. Hello, Amir. Hey, hey. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I got frozen. I'm so sorry. Hello to whoever's joining. So I apologize about the other live. Yes, I was frozen. Someone had called, so I apologize. Anyhow, so we're doing, I'm going to retitle this so that way it goes all the way after the live. But this is for Survival Seeds 2024. And it's hosted by, because I was cut off, but it's hosted by the Vineyard Chicks Homestead and Bushcraft Family and Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. And let's see here. I am going to, there we go. Sandy, say hello, hello. So we're just shelling out the beans, and what I was saying was you don't want to save the beans that are dried up. So if you're in the collab, let me know. And if you're growing anything for the collab, let me know. So we're just saving. Oh, yours are still growing. Troy! Hey, Troy, it's so good to see you. Welcome. Yep, yours are still growing. Well, I only had one plant that survived. There we go, sorry. Unfortunately, one plant made it. The others had died. Hi, Mom. So anyhow, yeah. So I have one that made it, and mine took a while to germinate. Hello. I cannot pronounce your name, but hello to you too. I will butcher it. I do not. Nakiso. I'm not sure. I know I'm saying that wrong. I apologize. You're just gonna have to forgive me. Anyhow, so out of this one, I got 4 seeds, and only one I have to get rid of. So yep, these are beans that we are saving the seeds for. to grow again, so we have some for next year. So it's important to save those seeds. It saves money. And let's see here, I had another 4 more beans to save for the seeds. Thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up, please. I hope the others that were in the other chat will come on over. But yeah, so yours took a while to germinate. Mine did too, and then when they came up, I had some die. So I don't know what happened. Maybe I had critters that ate them. It is what it is. Okay, so this one I had 4, and then 1 that's dried up. So it seems like I get 1 dried up for each one of these, but that's okay. So, yep. So there is another one, just 1 out of that pod. That's okay. The more the better. So, why are you not saving the dried ones? They never germinate for me. Hey, Scotty, welcome, welcome. So they're dried, but what's happened is they've shriveled up. Maybe I should say that a little bit better. They've shriveled up, and they never germinate, so I don't even bother saving them. Now, all of my beans are dry because they have dried on the pod, so I don't know if you can hear it crackling, but the beans have dried. So I want the ones that look a little bit more plump, because I have trouble with the ones that shrivel up, so to speak. They don't germinate for me for some reason. So I saved these. Let's see here. And these are completely dried out, but they're not dried. I guess shriveled up. Maybe that's the better term to use. But you can hear they're all dry. So, yeah. So I do that. So I have been saving seeds for a while. This is my first year. Let me back this up. So this is my first year growing the pinto beans, but I save the green beans every year. And I also grow Chinese long noodle beans, and I save those as well. So these are, they're just part of the bean family. I do it the same way. I go out and I pick the pods when they're all dried up, and they sound like little rattles. I don't know how well it's gonna sound over the camera, but then I'll bring them in and let them sit on my counter for a day or 2 and make sure that they're fully dried out. And then I go ahead and then I start just taking them up, popping them out of their little pods. Or sometimes I'll be honest with you, if it's like in the rush of things, I'll put them in a paper bag, and then during the winter, I do this. Because it's not necessary to do it like right away. You can wait until the winter time when things are slowed down and you're dreaming of your garden. Save your seeds. Now, each of the vegetables are different. This is not what you would do for tomatoes. Tomatoes, I like to ferment them. So I will take a tomato that is fully mature, fully ripened. There's 3 in there. And then I will put it in like a shallow jar, like a small, or a little dish, and then put a little bit of water on it, swish it around, let it sit for a day, and then I take a strainer and I just kind of change the water out, and then I'll add more water and just kind of like let it ferment. And then what happens is that gel casing on the top will come apart from the seed, and then you can then rinse them off. Like in a couple of days, you just do a final rinse and put it on a paper towel. I'll do a demonstration when it gets time for that. I'm still waiting on my Mariana tomatoes to ripen. They are not ripe yet. So the thing about the Mariana ones for this collab is that they are a hybrid, which is not the same as GMO. It is 2 heirloom tomatoes that that were pollinated, and they're cross-pollinated. And so if you save the seeds from the Mariana tomatoes, you may not have true Mariana tomatoes next year, but it's still tomatoes, it's still food. So why not? So that's kind of how I do my seeds. But yeah. So right now I'm just saving the seeds for the pinto beans. Whoops. So I've got quite a few in here. Oops. So not too bad. Not too bad. I'm getting quite a few. So how many tomato plants do I have now? Well, for the Survival Seeds collab, I've got 3. What zone are, okay, so let me answer that one. So I have 3 Mariana tomato plants. Now, I have an entire row full of tomato plants, like other breeds. I grew 4th of July. I couldn't tell you what this one is. It's a red and yellow tomato. It was an heirloom. I've saved the seeds since 2020 on that one. All I know is I call it my big yellow and red tomato. Couldn't tell you the variety, but I just saved the seeds because it's good. And then I have a yellow pear cherry tomato that's growing out there. And let's see, 4th of July, a yellow one. I thought I had Dr. Witchy's yellow tomatoes, but I don't. I'm wondering if it was, I know it started the seed, and I'm wondering if it's one of the ones that died, because I forgot to plant a few of them. So I may not have Dr. Witchy's this year. So yeah, so that's what I'm growing, but I don't know exactly how many tomato plants I have. Last year I grew 63, and I vowed not to do that this year. So Scotty, I don't know if you were around last year when I had all 63 tomato plants, but yeah. So Sandy, I am this year, as of this year, because the zones have changed, I'm now in 7A. I used to be 6B, but all the zones changed. But in my area, I don't really pay attention to the grow zone like I should, unless I'm buying a plant. So if I'm buying a plant, like for, decoration-y type plants, or, rose bushes or something along that line, that's when I really pay attention to the grow zone, because sometimes I put plants in pots and I'm looking for a zone or 2 zones below, so a 5A is what I'm looking for now, because I want them to winter over in pots. But for me, in my area, I live close to the Kentucky Derby. So in our area, we have a thing that we say, don't put your tomato plants or summer crops, in the ground until the Kentucky Derby. So, and it's true. So let me tell you, we used to have this community garden, and one of the guys that grew in the community garden, I warned him. I said, don't put your tomato plants in the ground. And did he listen? No. And so we had a false warm-up, so to speak. And the day before the Kentucky Derby, we got hit with like a light frost, which would kill all the tomato plants, right? So I told him, you might want to dig your tomato plants up. I know that sounds a little bit brash, but we were getting wind too. So even if you were to try to cover it with something and put even rocks on top to hold the blankets down, or the towel, whatever you're going to cover them up with, it would have blown. And I told him, I said, it wouldn't hurt. In fact, I had a few tomatoes out there that I ended up digging up too. So, I mean, I practiced what I preached. So I dug up the ones that I had, and I warned him. I said, you might want to dig those up. And he went and bought black Dollar Tree buckets and put them straight over on top of his tomato plants. During the night, we got the freeze. We had a horrible windstorm, knocked all those buckets all over. So there were buckets down the street. I mean, everywhere. He had probably about 40 tomato plants, so that tells you how many buckets he had. None of his tomatoes survived. The next day was the Kentucky Derby. At that point, then the 10-day forecast was fine. I put all my tomato plants outside and had a successful, and unfortunately he had to rebuy all of his tomato plants that he had started from seed because it was too late. Have I used a wall of waters for early protection? So I think that's a good question. So walls of water. So are you talking about where you put water around plants? I think that's what you're talking about. And I have watered in plants before, like a light frost, and it helps with some of them. Oh, sounds like a girl laid an egg, so you might hear one of my girls here in a second. Tell me give me a little bit more information of what you're referring to, but is it just watering in plants? Good job there, Chloe. Good job. It's Chloe. I can see her. She just laid an egg. Good job, Chloe. Good job. Yes, I tell my hens, good job. I'm that crazy chicken lady. Yeah, tell me a little bit more what you mean. Curious. But with tomato plants, I don't play games in our area. I literally just wait until the Kentucky Derby. And as long as I do that, then we're good to go. It's kind of odd for our area. Okay, they are, oh, no, I have not. They are plastic with tubes that you fill each tube with water, and it warms the soil and air all around the plant. That's new to me. A wall of waters. Huh. Now, I want to know, where do you get those? Is it something you can order on Amazon? Is it something you order from like gardeners.com? Like, I don't know. Where would you get those? Because I might have to try that. Because in those, I would try a couple of tomato plants next year. Maybe try to get them in early before the Kentucky Derby. That would be cool. Google them. A lot of places sell them. I think I will. Thank you for the tip. That's a great idea. I would love to try that, because if that allows me to start them earlier, and you know what would be nice? I am still waiting on my watermelon plants. Those went in the ground, and let's see here. They went in 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby, because I was a little bit late. I was trying to get everything done, but you know how life gets. And those plants are only like, still like tiny, but we've had horrible, like, well, I mean, it's finally kind of raining, but we went through a drought for a bit, and I just kept watering. Hello, What Life. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see here. I've used them for tomato, peppers, and even squash in them. I am going to look into this. I wonder, have you tried them to extend the season out? Like at the end of the season, to try to get them, you know, like your summer crops, to extend their life out. According to, what's the name of that calendar? I have this pull-out calendar, and I'm drawing a blank. It's a white card, and it tells you when to start your seeds for the fall, you know, like each of the seasons. And it says that it's time for me to start the broccoli, the cauliflower, the cabbage, all that for a fall harvest. I actually got I put it in my Alexa. I'm going to spell it out for those who have one of those devices. I put it into that device, and yesterday my Alexa device said, time to plant the cold crops. We'll start the cold crops. And my husband said, you're going to put those outside? And I'm like, no, it's too hot. You start them indoors. Let's see here. I could buy some, or you could on some plants, but my tomatoes are tall by then. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, and then at that point, then I will have all my tomato plants that I'll need. So maybe just more for the spring crop or spring year time. Hello. Hello, Harry. Nice to meet you. Hello. Well, I'm going to look into that, Sandy, because that's new to me. And I love little gardening tips. You just never know. You know, I've been gardening, well, so I've been gardening since I've been married. But I have been very unsuccessful. And when people say, I just kill everything, which country? US. When people say I can't plant anything, I can't grow anything, I kill everything, well, you're talking to the queen of it all. I mean, I tried growing tomatoes, and I did it even when I lived in Tucson. And of course, not in the dead of the summer, but you know, when it was a little bit cooler. Sandy, you know how the weather is. I am Indian. Namaste. Well, namaste to you. So couldn't grow anything when I lived in Arizona. Sandy, you amaze me. I wish I had found you when I lived there, because I know you grow in, see here, your Yuma area. And it would have been nice to have learned what the tricks and tips are, because when I say I tried growing vegetables out in Tucson, I killed everything. So I started gardening in 2011. And it started with a tomato plant in a 5-gallon bucket. And then after that, I've just never given up. And I just kept teaching myself and kept learning, and went on YouTube. The world powerful leader of Andrea Modi. Okay, let's see here. Here are some walls of water. Okay. And there we go. There we go. All right. You better stick with your chickens. They came later, Scotty. The chickens came later. I'll tell you about that in a second. Sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for dropping them. They come in white, clear, and green. Okay, I'm gonna look at that. I'll come back to the chat and I'll grab that link before I close out, so that way I can see them. And okay, so chickens. So I started gardening, like, successfully with a tomato plant in 2011. The chickens didn't come until 2020. So I I live in a community where chickens are illegal. It's really odd to me, because everywhere around is a farming community. And look, like corn, right? So in 2020, my neighbors had come down to my house, who own this, and said, would you like chickens? And I'm like, well, yes, but they're banned. They're not allowed at all. And by the way, this was, I'll just say it was before COVID, so this has nothing to do with COVID and chickens. because I know a lot of people got into it, which I think is great, but it had nothing to do with that. It was literally just a friend helping a friend. And so it was in January of 2020. And so they were like, well, there's a piece of the land that we can't get the farm equipment around. And we will stake out part of the land, and you can put a chicken coop up and put your chickens right there. So that's exactly what happened. And so when everything was closed down, Sir Grace and I were building a chicken coop run, and so then I went online and I ordered chickens from Meyer Hatchery, which is in Ohio, and yeah, in March of 2020, we had our first little itty bitty chickie flock came to the house, and we've raised our girls. And then last year we added to the flock. We went in with the neighbor that owns the farm, and they wanted some different breeds of chickens. They'd never ordered chicks from a hatchery, so I made a huge order, and I only wanted 3 of the birds. And so unfortunately one of our 3 I did have to put down. I took her to a poultry veterinarian, and she had congenital seizures, so she unfortunately was suffering, and there was nothing I could do for her, so we did put her down. Hello, Robin. And so anyhow, so I introduced 2 more girls last year to the flock. So Scotty, I am 4 years into owning chickens, and it's the greatest ride in the world to go on. I own dogs, and the one that we have right now, he's a protector of them. You have to know your dogs. Don't just put your dogs around chickens, because I had one that would play. So she wasn't around the chickens, but anyhow. And then I have grand dogs that play rough, we'll put it that way. But this one that I've got right now, he's very much a protector. But anyhow, so yeah, chickens are a whole thing, and the pecking order is a thing. So yeah, it's a whole new thing. So I feel like I know more about gardening than I do chickens, but I'm catching up with chickens pretty quickly. But you know what, though? You never stop learning about the garden either. I'm not a know-it-all in any way, shape, or form. Like, I've never grown pinto beans. And so here are my pinto beans for next year. Probably could have used a smaller jar because I didn't get as many, but I think that'll be plenty. And if I can find a spot in the next week or 2, I might actually replant these and see if I can get some more seeds for next year and double that amount, because why not? It's 60 days approximately for growing beans, and who knows, I can get another harvest, because I've got a bit before my next frost. So I might try that, since these grew native in the area and they're already custom, and see what I can come up with. But anyhow, Scotty, do you have chickens? Oh, don't you dare be sorry. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping in and coming back over to this live and hanging out with us and giving me the tip. So I am definitely going to look that up on Amazon. Gotta find your comment so I don't lose it. So anyhow, yeah, thank you for stopping in. You have a wonderful day. Sending hugs to you. So Scotty, do you have chickens then? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm a definite crazy chicken lady. Tweety, I took a video of it, but Tweety tried eating my green Mariana tomatoes, and there's a short out there, and my chickens never eat green tomatoes, so it was kind of surprising that she was eating the Mariana, and then she went over and she ate one of the other ones. So I don't know what's up with her, because really chickens shouldn't be eating green tomatoes, but she did, and well, she's here, so she's good to go. But yeah, interesting. Anyhow, Well, Survival Seeds 2024 for the pinto beans is in the bag. I think I have maybe about 30 or 40, 30 to 40 little beans in here, pinto beans. So I might go ahead and I really do think I might try to find a spot out in the garden. I've got to clean up an area, so I might restart somewhere and see if I can get more seeds for next year. Wouldn't that be cool to get a second harvest out and then maybe double the amount? That'd be really cool. So anyhow, well, I'm gonna hop off of here. Y'all have a great day. Be kind to somebody. You just don't know what they're going through, and I mean it. And thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.